Okay, I'm having a look at a grade 8 progress quiz for term 2. So this is covering the algebra topic that we have been working on. So the language of algebra type questions that we might see, naming the coefficient, constant and variable for an expression. So in this case our coefficient here is the 5. Our variable is the x and our constant term is the 3. So it's a constant because it doesn't have a variable with it. In this expression here, we can say how many terms there are. So we've got the 2x is a term, the 3y is a term, and the minus 5 is a term. So there's 3 terms in that expression. In the next one, we're looking at circling the like terms. So we've got to look along the line for the same base and the same power. So we've got a 3a squared, and we also have a 2a squared, and we also have an a squared. So they are like terms. With our index laws, when we are multiplying, if we have the same base, we are adding the powers, so we get b to the power of 7. Here we are dividing, so we subtract the powers, so we get a to the power of 3. When we have anything raised to a power of 0, that's going to equal 1. When we have brackets and we have a power inside the brackets and outside the brackets, we multiply those, so we end up with m to the 4 times 3, which is m to the 12. When we are simplifying here, we're looking, if we're adding or subtracting, we have to have like terms. So 2m plus 3m gives us 5m. Negative 7a plus 2a is going to be negative 5a. When we've got 5m and we're taking away 1m, we're left with 4m. When we're multiplying, 4m times 3m, we do the 4 times 3 is 12, and the m times m is m squared. When we're dividing, we can do the 20 divided by 4 gives us 5. There's no m's on the bottom, so we leave that m there, and the n's will cancel out. So if we wrote it over to the side more in the fraction form, we can see that we can cancel those n's out. We can do the 20 divided by 4, and we're left with the m there, so we have 5m as our answer. Question 4, we're substituting. So we're substituting x equals 3. So that means we're going to do 5 times 3 plus 4. So we'll get 15 plus 4 equals 19. Then we're substituting x equals minus 2. So we've got 7 times minus 2 plus 5. So we get negative 14 plus 5 is going to equal negative 9. Then we've got x equals 2 going into x squared plus 3x take 5. So we'll have 2 squared plus 3 times 2 take away 5. So we get 4 plus 6 take 5. 4 plus 6 is 10, take away 5 is 5. When we go over to our expanding, I like to call this the wave because we draw in the wave that we are going to multiply. So we're doing 3 times m plus 3 times 2, and that's going to give us 3m plus 6 as our answer. Here we've got a times a plus a times 5, so we get a squared plus 5a as our answer. Here we've got to do 2 sets of brackets, so we do 3 times m plus 3 times 5. Then we're going to do m times m plus m times 2. So we get 3m plus 15 plus m squared plus 2m. Then we're going to collect like terms. So we've got the 3m and the 2m are like terms. So we write a 5m. Our m squared likes to go at the front because it has the highest power, and then a 15 on the end. Here we've got a negative being multiplied by each of those. So we can write that as a negative 1 times that. So negative 1 times b is just going to be negative b, and negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. With our factorising, we want to break it down into the factors, circle what factor they have in common, and then put that outside the bracket. So here we've got 4 times m plus 4 times 1. So they have a common factor of 4. That goes outside the brackets. M plus 1 goes inside the brackets. Here we've got 5 times m times n. We can break that 20 into 5 times 4 times n. Then we can circle the 5 from both of those and the n from both. So that goes out the front, the 5n, and inside the brackets goes the m plus 4. Then we've got 3m squared take 6m, so we'll write that as 3 times m, take 3 times 2 times m. So we can circle the 3 in both and the m in both. So we get 3m outside of m take 2. Last factorising one on this page, we've got negative 4bc plus 2b squared. So we can write that as negative 2 times 2 times b times c plus 2 times b times b. So we can circle a 2 from each and a b from each. So we get 2b outside of negative 2c plus b. The other thing we can also do is we could take that negative out and make it negative 2b outside of 2c take away b. That's another option for us. On to the second page, and we have some solving questions. Now we start off with our one-step one, so we're practicing our technique for when we get to two-step and variables on both sides, brackets and fractions. So we are showing what we are doing to get to our answer. So we're taking 3 from both sides because we have m plus 3. The opposite is to take 3. So we get m equals 6. Here we've got x take 2 equals 7. The opposite of taking away 2 is to add 2. So we get x is equal to 9. Here we've got 3 times x. So the opposite is to divide by 3. So we get x is equal to 4. Here we've got x divided by 5. So the opposite of that is to multiply by 5. And we get x is equal to 50. Then we get to our two-step equations. So the m has been multiplied by 2 and then 3 was added. So the opposite of the adding 3, which was the last thing it was done, is to take away 3. And we get 2m is equal to 8. Then we're going to divide by 2 to find out what 1m is equal to. Here we've got 5x take 4 is equal to 11. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. That gives us 5x is equal to 15. Then we are going to divide by 5 to get what 1x is equal to, and it's equal to 3. Here we've got a half x plus 5 is equal to 10. So we're going to take 5 to start with, and we'll get a half x is equal to 5. Then we are going to multiply by 2 to get what 1x is equal to, or divide by it half is the other way you could do it. X is equal to 10. In question 9, we've got variables on both sides. So there are multiple ways you can do this. I'm going to show you one way, but there are multiple options of which ones to work with. I like to look across and look at my constants first and look at which is my smallest. So I've got a plus 6 and a plus 2. So I'm going to take 2 from both sides because the 2 is the smaller one. So I get 3m plus 4 is equal to 4m. Then once I've done that step, that locks me into what I need to do next. So I want the m's together, so I'm going to take 3m from both sides. And so I get 4 is equal to m. Here I've got a minus 4 and a plus 5. So I'm going to add 4 to start with. And I get 5x is equal to 2x plus 9. Then I'm going to take 2x from both sides. I'm going to take 2x from both sides. So I'm going to get 3x is equal to 9. So then when I divide by 3, I'll get x is equal to 3. Up to question 10, we need to do our brackets. So we can expand our brackets first, and we get 3 times x plus 3 times 2 is equal to 15. So we get 3x plus 6 is equal to 15. So then we can take away 6 from both sides to start with. And we get 3x is equal to 9. Divide by 3. And our x is equal to 3. The other option that we could have done, and some of you might recognise, we could divide by 3 on both sides first, and that would give us x plus 2 is equal to 5, and then we would take away 2 and we'll get our x equals 3. That is an option as well. Here we've got 4 outside of x minus 2 equals 12, so I'm going to expand that bracket, and just like before, you could have divided by 4 first. We get 4x take 8 is equal to 12, so then we're going to add 8, and we'll get 4x is equal to 20, and then we will divide by 4, and we get x is equal to 5. If you'd gone down the other way and done the dividing by 4, you would have got x take 2 is equal to 12, and, divide by 4, I need to divide that side by 4 as well. X take 2 is equal to 3, then I would add 2 to both sides and get x is equal to 5. Last one here, we've got a fraction form, so we're going to multiply by 2 first. and we get m plus 3 is equal to 8. And then we're going to take 3 from both sides and get m is equal to 5.